What's going on, H-Town, Houston Rockets fans, no matter where you are? This is Rockets Daily, brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for everybody who subscribed to this channel. As we bring you Rockets content each day of the week, go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. Today, we're going to talk about what's been a little bit of a hot topic. Some people say it's clickbait, some people get tired of it, but right now, we're at the time of the year. A lot of guys are eligible to be traded. Got a little bit over a month before the trade deadline. And we got a tight race in the Western Conference. So it is going to be a race and a conversation, whether you like it or not. And today is your day to chime in on whether the Rockets should make some trades or stand pat. Once again, this is Rockets Daily, brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. And I saw Sports Nation had this poll up as far as whether or not the Rockets should make a trade or stand pat. And what I'm going to also get into, first of all, we'll touch on that. And then I'm going to talk about right now. There's some reasons, things that I'm liking about the Rockets. And of course, I welcome you guys to comment and chime in as well. As far as we're going to do a little bit of glass half full. I don't know going to say we're going to Shipley's donut the Rockets, but we're gonna talk about some of the things that we really do like, some areas that have really shown some character this year, reasons why this does look like a championship team. We're going to talk about some reasons why it's not, and then we're also going to dive into this preview against the Portland Trailblazers, 2 games and 3 nights against the Portland Trailblazers on the road coming up. So obviously, the point guard situation. We've talked about it, but one thing I do want to touch on. This poll with a Sports Nation, 56% of fans who chimed in, and assuming for the most part it's probably Rockets fans, 56% at the time of recording here are in favor of the Rockets not making a move. They have 56% that say that the Houston Rockets roster should stand pat, 44% that feel like the Rockets should make a trade. Let me know in the comments where you guys feel with that. One of the big topics really has been, the point guard situation. And there's a lot of different guys out there, from people talking about Drew Holiday, at the top of the list, to talking about Chris Paul, to Russell Westbrook. Right now, Lonzo Ball, injury issues, I know, but not really fitting in with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Great. Ty Jerome, a new fit over there with the Memphis Grizzlies, but has dealt with injuries. So many different point guards. The list goes on and on and on. Along with, or we could stay pat here with, obviously, Reed Sheppard coming more into his role. Reed's kind of stabilized a little bit. And then there's also, of course, Aaron Holiday. But I think the biggest thing here, and as we look at half full, and if you're in the argument that the Rockets shouldn't make a move, I think a lot of it has to do with possibly thinking that maybe Fred VanVleet can come back and return. But also, this is the first year with this team, with Kevin Durant leading the way. So you may just want to see how it plays out. Got the number 2 seed last year, lost in the first round in 7 games. But you may want to just see where this roster can go as constructed before you make a move. It may just have enough. Oklahoma City, maybe they peak too soon. San Antonio Spurs, even though they beat us in the head-to-head matchup, I think that we all believe that we could beat the San Antonio Spurs. They've struggled with some injuries. Still a very, very young team. Very, very young team. Similar to the Rockets in a few different ways there with the youth of the San Antonio Spurs. Denver Nuggets, they almost beat the Oklahoma City Thunder last year. Took them to 7 games. Jokic right now hurt. Obviously, he's expected to be back here. And he's supposed to be back here at the end of the month. Aaron Gordon's had some injury issues. Jamal Murray's had some injury issues. That's also a team that I believe that we could beat if we stay healthy. Now, as far as the half full, when you look at where the Rockets are right now, the Rockets have not had a clean bill of health all season. And you can say out of all of those teams that I've mentioned, the Rockets have actually had the worst amount of luck with health. Haven't had Fred VanVleet all season. Missed Tari Eason a little bit. Didn't have Dorian Finney-Smith almost the whole season. Now we got Dorian Finney-Smith for a few games, and now Şengün goes down. So the Houston Rockets haven't had really many games, really no games, if you consider Fred VanVleet at full strength. So that is a big deal, and this team has still handled itself very well. That went over against the Phoenix Suns. It's the Phoenix team has been playing well. It was a back-to-back, but the Phoenix Suns have been playing some of the better basketball in the NBA right now, coming off of a big comeback win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Won that game without Şengün. Big shot from Kevin Durant. It was an ugly game. We didn't shoot the ball well, but still won ugly. It was a playoff type win for the Rockets against the Phoenix Suns there. So that's some reasons to feel good about it, and reasons that you could say that the glass is should be half full in a sense. Now, moving along here, as we get ready to get into half empty, wanted to let you guys know that fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. You just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, definitely looking at those Kevin Durant over points props and Steven Adams over rebounds props and Clint Capella over rebounds props right now with Şengün out of the lineup. Download the app today and use promo code BASKETBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code BASKETBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks and win money with Underdog. One more thing before we get into the half empty. The fact that this team has not, Kevin Durant being a completely new piece, this is essentially a lot of the same pieces from last year, but having Kevin Durant on this team, having Dorian Finney-Smith on this team, who we've only seen a handful of games from now, Kogi, this is still a very, very new unit overall. So the team has played relatively well for we've seen with Kevin Durant in the past, basically everywhere since Golden State, Phoenix, Brooklyn. You can't just plug the pieces in just based off of talent and see it mesh. Things have meshed relatively well overall for just 32, 33 games into the season so far. Still a lot of basketball left. We're still not halfway there. So you got to think that if this team does get healthy with the chemistry that we developed, the culture in place, the coaching staff in place, I know there's been some criticism over rotations and things like that, but Durant's healthy. Steven Adams has been a tremendous impact for this team. Jabari Smith Jr. does not get enough credit for the type of defensive player that he's been. Amin Thompson, I think, is definitely showing improvement. Reed Shepard, I think we're all overall happy with the development that we've seen from him. Clint Capella is, he's hanging in there. He's holding his own right now. So overall, still a lot to feel happy about with this team overall. Now, everything though is not perfect, so that as you start to get into some of the half-empty situations, even looking at that Phoenix game, and we've seen this quite a bit, where the Rockets have really kind of struggled to put teams away. It was a 7-9 point lead there late in the fourth quarter. It was a back and forth game. It got to that point where the Rockets all of a sudden looked like, okay, we got the lead. Now we're going to put them away, and we didn't. And we've seen that in quite a few games this year, especially as of late, where there's been times where it looked like the Rockets were going to put a team away, and they let a team hang around and sometimes did not come out on top. So closing the games out, I think that even though obviously we want Şengün in there, I think that without Şengün in there yesterday or the other day against the Phoenix Suns, it made it a little more clear, obviously, that Kevin Durant was going to be the closer down the stretch there. But not having a point guard still, when it comes to the playoffs, just having somebody who can stabilize things. Rockets more times than not have lost the turnover battle. That's not something that you feel really good about. In fact, the Rockets are actually 28th in the NBA in turnovers. Only teams worse than the Rockets in turnovers this season right now are the Golden State Warriors and the Portland Trailblazers, who we'll be seeing pretty soon. So obviously, out rebounding teams, best rebounding team in the NBA. That has been a big advantage for the Rockets. But turnovers, it definitely is a concern. And there's a lot to be optimistic about. Like I said, right now we're doing it half empty. But team isn't perfect, but no team is. Overall, right now, Rockets for the season, as we look at the offensive efficiency side, Houston fourth in offensive efficiency. You got Denver, Boston, down year for the Celtics, huh? Who said it? Boston Celtics have come along really nicely. Number 2 in offensive efficiency. New York number 3. So second in the West in offensive efficiency, just ahead of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 5th. And on the defensive end, this is another reason Rockets are starting to creep back up defensively. Still just on 8th in defensive efficiency. Was a little bit lower than that, or a little bit worse than that, 8th best right now. So are trending in the better direction defensively. Right now, Oklahoma City number 1, Detroit number 2, Miami number 3. We got the Timberwolves, the Raptors, the Warriors, and the San Antonio Spurs. Just a smidget ahead of the Houston Rockets, who are 8th in the NBA right now, actually tied with the Phoenix Suns in defensive efficiency. Now, as we move along here, as we look at this preview against the Portland Trailblazers coming into this game, well, two games in 3 days against the Blazers in Portland. Blazers are 19th on the defensive efficiency side. On the offensive efficiency side, they are just 24th. Denny Advia leading the Portland Trailblazers right now to their 17-20 record. They're battling for a play-in spot, but Portland Trailblazers actually playing some pretty good basketball right now. Blazers have won 3 in a row. They've won 5 out of their last 6. They beat the Boston Celtics. They beat the Dallas Mavericks, both at home. Went on the road, knocked off the Pelicans and the Spurs, and they're coming off of a 137-117 win against the Utah Jazz. Sandwiched in between those, their one loss out of their last 6 games was a 124-95, so shellacking against the Oklahoma City Thunder, but that game was in Oklahoma City. It's going to be a little bit of a revenge spot for the Portland Trailblazers, who we beat pretty bad earlier this season in the NBA play-in group play action. Beat the Portland Trailblazers 140-116 back on November 14th at the Toyota Center. Advia had 22 points and 10 rebounds to lead the Blazers in that game. Obviously, as far as this time around, Şengün is still not going to be available. Expected to miss at least another 10 to 12 days. And the first time around, as we kind of look to see how things unfolded, Kevin Durant led the way with 30 points. Steven Adams is going to have to be a big part of this game again, as he was the first time around. Steven Adams grabbed 11 rebounds in just 18 minutes off of the bench. Now, Şengün had 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists on 9 for 13 shooting. 25 points in 36 minutes. Obviously, he's not going to be available this time around. So, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time in Houston here for Wednesday night against the Portland Trailblazers, and then 9 p.m. again on Friday night as we have 2 games in 3 days against the Portland Trailblazers. Both games against the Blazers are in Portland, where the Blazers are 8-9 at home. Rockets 11-9 on the road this season. And the Rockets right now, as far as the odds, got the Rockets as a 5.5 point favorite going into this game. Let me go ahead and check the total here. And a total 226.5 seems a little light, even though Rockets have been definitely picking things up defensively. We've seen a lot more grinded out games with the Rockets, but these teams combined for 256 the first time around. I understand that was earlier in the season. I understand that was in Houston, but Portland a pretty fast-paced team. I don't think the Rockets are going to have an issue scoring. I do think that this one is going to go over the total on Wednesday night. But what I really would like to see is 2 wins against the Blazers. Blazers are playing well. If we could beat the Blazers 2 times in 3 days in Portland, that definitely will mean something. So a strong test here. Don't overlook this Portland Trail Blazers team. What do you guys think about as far as trades? I mean, are we still on board with anybody still on board with Chris Paul? Should we stand pat? Should we bring in somebody there cheap? Any flyers on Lonzo Ball? Patrick Beverly? No, those all seem like desperate moves. Obviously, those moves would be less substantial moves, but let me know. Place your vote. Should the Rockets stand pat, make a trade, or no trade? And anybody that you would like to see the Rockets acquire. Thanks again. This has been Rockets Daily, brought to you by Underdog, and I'll see you guys on the next one.